Hi, I'm Cameron Blonzi. I'm the Vice President of Marketing with Coast of Maine Brands, and welcome to Coast of Maine's Growing Good podcast. And I'm here with Marguerite Wiser. You're the farm manager, and we're here at the Ecology School at Riverbend Farm. This is a beautiful place, a lot of work. It's a hot day.
Yeah.
So we just want to talk to you about the garden and your jobs, especially this year. It's been weird weather, but tell me how you lay out the garden and your thought process and what happens with the food.
Yeah, so we've got about an acre of no-till raised beds here. So we, spend a lot of the winter doing our crop planning, and we grow most of the food for the kitchen. So we use it for program meals. So we're trying to mostly grow things that can be used by a kind of larger scale kitchen. So that definitely plays into how we pick some of the varieties and, the quantities of things we're growing.
So that's the beautiful thing too, is that you're growing this for this small area and for the small group, but then you're talking to the person that's making the food.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're saying, hey, these onions, they were great last year.
Yeah.
And they're laying out their plan, hopefully. So they've got to be communicating with you all the time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So we do a lot of talking with the kitchen about what they need week to week, and excess stuff we donate to a couple local food pantries. And so we do,
That's
a lot of communicating. And then a lot of it also depends on the soils, and we have a nice sandy section of soil up on this side, and so we try to do some root veggies there because the rest of our soil is pretty heavy.
So we want to talk about soil.
Yeah,
you're talking. We understand soil.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. But the biggest thing to me that you said was the no-till.
Yeah.
And not disturbing the soil because of everything that's happening.
Yeah.
Under the earth. So talk about that process and tell people the basics on no-till farming.
Yeah, so the basics are trying to, really kind of focus on the soil and soil health as our biggest goal, and then sort of having the produce be a great benefit of having good soils. So working on keeping that soil structure intact, how it would be sort of in a more natural system, and, trying to keep all the, microbes and organisms and everything that's living there undisturbed and not turning them over.
Because that's the piece. It's like a sub-layer communication system.
Yeah,
they'll get the nutrients as long as you're adding the organic matter.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? So with your organic matter, what type of, obviously you're using compost, but you're using probably different types of manure. What types of stuff, and how are you sourcing those materials?
Yeah, so we mostly kind of use compost as sort of a mulch on the top of the soil because we're not sort of tilling and incorporating our organic matter and other things. We kind of try to add fertility and things to the bed tops each year, and then have that build up over time. A lot of we focus a lot on agroecology at the Ecology School, so trying to sort of mimic natural systems and think about,
Well, I mean, the natural system has been taking care of us for
exactly.
hundreds of thousands of millions of years.
Thinking about trying to keep the soil covered because you rarely see just empty soil in the natural world.
Well, that's the thing. Stuff's going to pop up all over the place because the biology is there, but you've got different sections that have different needs. And are you out here doing soil tests yourself, or is it kind of that natural feel of I'm sticking my hand in, smelling the soil, looking how plants are reacting? Is that basically how you're doing it?
Yeah, so a lot of it we definitely do based on like how things are growing kind of in the season, and we do try to do like a yearly soil test using the UMaine system soil testing.
So you do go to the cooperative extension?
Yeah, so we'll send away the soil usually in the fall and just see where things are at, nutrient levels that maybe you can't exactly pick up.
Well, that's the thing. So you must be picking locations around to say, I mean, how many soil tests would you do? And this is over an acre, right?
Yeah, so we kind of tend to think of each quadrant as its own kind of section and take sort of a representative sample of the whole quadrant, different areas in it. If there's an area that's like, particularly doing, worse or differently than another area, you might want to focus on taking a soil test of that specific area, but it tends to work to just do.
So you're tracking all that stuff too. If you're doing your planning in the wintertime, like at the end of your week, at the end of your day, are you tracking, are you recording everything about how things are growing, how they reacted?
Yeah, we definitely try to take a lot of notes on how things do each year. I feel like gardening tends to be like, it's like doing an experiment where all the variables are changing all the time. So there's like no control of, year to year, things are changing, season to season. So.
Yeah, and I mean, we all know the climate has changed so much.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
so quick. We don't know what's going to happen 15 minutes from now with a thunderstorm. That management, have you had anything this year, any type of pest invasions or anything that's been particularly different this year that you've had to shift and change anything?
Yeah, that's a good question. Definitely with last season, we noticed a lot of like, with the wet weather, just a lot of like fungal disease in plants. And so like we're, trying to learn from last year, and this season is a little different. So we're not noticing quite the same diseases, but definitely a lot of pests are starting to emerge this time of year. So,
is there a particular pest right now that's really
we have
prevalent
a fair amount of the like Colorado potato beetles.
Okay.
Kind of gross. We're keeping an eye out for the squash vine borers. I think the moths are active right now.
Are you basically just picking them off? I mean,
yeah,
that's what you have to do,
kids,
right?
It's an elective for them.
And they come down, they love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, having a great time with it. So
it's amazing how kids will actually do that type of work and love it.
Yeah, definitely.
And organic gardening, it is about, a lot of it's just physically pulling the pests off.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
Can't be afraid of bugs if you're going to do organic gardening.
Definitely.
You started here 2020, right around
2021, yep.
2021. Yeah. It's 2024.
Yeah.
The farm has progressed amazingly with all the things that they're doing here. Yeah. How much has the garden changed since you got here? Has it grown?
Yeah.
Have you noticed a difference in fertility?
Yeah, so we started the first year with just this one quadrant here, so about 1/4 of an acre, and kind of built it from the ground up of building the permanent raised beds using our BCS walking tractor. But yeah, we've definitely noticed even in the last couple of weeks, the soil is definitely a lot easier to work, a little lighter.
Breaks up easier.
Yeah, a little more organic matter going on, which has been great to see.
Is there, I mean, you have to get, so at Coastal Maine, we do bag soils. Yeah. We're not set up in this moment to really help farmers in the way that we'd potentially like to.
Yeah.
But you get some compost from us to do some top dressing. But are you composting here at the school at all?
Yeah. So we're working on building a new composting system because we have a lot of food scraps.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that'll be exciting. Hopefully we'll have that going by this fall. But a system that we're hoping will work well sort of in the shoulder seasons when it's a little colder out. Right now we kind of compost by folding things into manure piles.
Sure.
But we're not making the quality compost that we'd like for,
or the volume.
Yeah, exactly.
Need, really.
Good weed-free compost for here.
So. Do you have a good local source for bulk compost? Do you get anything locally?
We get some stuff from Benson Farms.
Yeah, they do a nice job.
Yeah, so we usually get 25 or 50 yards a year.
From them.
To use, yep.
Yeah. And then your staff. I mean, we've personally worked with Clayton, who is around here.
He's over here in green.
He's over this way.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Yeah. But Clayton's been back last couple of years.
Yeah.
How many, and then you have some apprentices that come in?
Yeah, so we have a student farm apprentice program. So that is, this year it's high school students, but that's varied year to year.
Yeah.
And so they are mostly in the summer season when they're out of school. And that's been a great program. We've been adding a little more curriculum to kind of give a bigger picture of farming and kind of soil science and a little taste of, beyond just day-to-day weeding and what we're doing on the farm.
Do you come up with the curriculum yourself?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we worked with last year's apprentices who are great, and we're really excited to learn things about what things they wanted to learn about. So we're, I think it'll change a little year to year. And then they gave you
feedback, and then you're changing that all the time, just like you have to on the farm.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So there's so many different, facets you can get into with like how small engines work with our BCS and, weeds and pests and disease and, all these big doors you can open to dive into. Really.
It's a really interesting thing to me because we interact with a lot of farmers. I know a lot of people that have grown up on farms. They are, I always say, they're doers. I think they're really happy people because every challenge, they seem to not have to overthink, right? They just go, well, we can fix this. Knowing something about small engines for things, you just wouldn't think of that in the moment.
Figure it out.
Just got to figure it out. We got to get this done today. This is happening. We're just going to react and do it. I think I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And these kids that come in as apprentices, how long is that apprentice pro? Is there a certain number of weeks?
Yeah, this year it's 8 weeks. I think
Okay.
next year might be 10 weeks. But
And how many did you say you have this year?
this year 2.
2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then are they going to school for agriculture a lot of times? Or?
Yeah, sometimes sometimes it's kind of, starting them early and getting them interested in, farming as, oh, this could be an option, which is really fun to see when, people just get really excited that this is something you can do every day.
Do people, and also here at the farm, where they do seminars, they do get-togethers and trainings. There's all kinds of experiential learning, right?
Definitely.
So you get people of all ages.
Yeah.
I mean, do older people are they as willing to pick bugs as the little kids?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we definitely get a lot of people who are excited about gardening, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, excited to see the farm.
So when you sit here, you see the changes and you see the environment. I mean, you're doing your part in this little microcosm to handle the environment properly.
Yeah.
And so what would your messages be to people that are potentially learning, that want to learn more, that really care about the environment? You can control it. What would you say about it?
Yeah, definitely. I think there are a lot of great examples in Maine, especially of, small farms doing really good work at, improving soil health and working with kind of natural systems to grow food in a way that's good for people and good for the planet. And I think, it's really great to see, and great that people are so excited about it. And
I would also mention to people too that the Ecology School is a nonprofit. Mm-hmm. Donations are a big part of what you do.
Yeah, definitely.
Where can people find out more about classes? Is it just the website?
Yeah, so we've got a website with a calendar of events,
and they can just reach out there. Businesses can set up seminars and get-togethers. There's all kinds of trainings. You get a whole complete.
Yeah.
And you're an important part of it. So thank you for helping to change the world.
Oh, sure.
And thanks for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, happy to.
Thank